and talk about James Harden. He's apparently been working hard this offseason. Look at Harden running the stairs. He's got a big decision to make today regarding his player option with the 76ers. But look, he's putting in the work, and that's what Sixers fans, I think, want to see. So let's talk a little bit about him. Brian, what do we know right now about Harden and this contract option decision?
The expectation is he is going to remain with the Sixers. He has a $47 million option for next year, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to pick it up. The Sixers, right now, with where they are in the luxury tax, they are very restricted what they can spend. So James Harden could agree to a new 3-year contract, but what he could do is he could opt out today and lower his salary, which would free up money for the Sixers, not cap space, but it would free up them to use their full mid-level exception, which is $10 million. The reason that's interesting is the expectation is they are going to be chasing P.J. Tucker. They love P.J. Tucker coming into this organization, but to get the money to compete with the Miami Heat, who want to keep P.J. Tucker, they need to shed some salary somehow. So if it's not with Harden reducing his salary on a long-term deal by opting out and then re-signing, they would have to make another deal to be able to afford the P.J. Tucker market.
Okay, so
remember when James Harden turned down a chance to make $50 million a year in Houston? So like I see
he turned it down last year in Brooklyn.
That's right, last year in Brooklyn too. So for me, it just goes back to look, I think P.J. Tucker could be one of the missing links for this team because of the toughness that he brings to the table.
So tough.
And I think it's extremely additive to the culture that already exists within Philly.
Remember, Joel Embiid at the end of Game 6 when they lost to Miami went on a 2-minute soliloquy about how much the Sixers need a guy, as Ryan knows, exactly like P.J. Tucker.
Yep, and you know what? I'd welcome him with open arms. But I get back to Harden. Jay, what do you need to see from him this offseason? And do you think he can be that top 5 guy again?
Top 5?
Yes.
You don't need him to be.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. First off,
it's the Sixers fan in me coming out.
Let's break down a couple things, right? It's a world of absolutes that we live in. Pay scale doesn't always equate to top 5.
That's true.
Right? Do you need James Harden to be a top 5 player to win a championship? No, I actually don't. I think the pieces that you need Joel Embiid to be healthy. You need him to be healthy. You need the additive pieces to work. The injury for him, I think, last year played into who I think he became throughout the course of the season. But I still think him as a distributor, him as a guy that can make shots, and him being in shape, if you're questioning the shape of James Harden, that is able to be questioned. But I think him playing that kind of pseudo point guard role combined with the pieces of Joel Embiid being healthy is enough to have this team there when it's all said and done.
Do you think he gets in the kind of shape he needs to be in this offseason?
I mean, that's what we're waiting to find out. I mean, having videos like this and hearing it internally definitely lets you know it's moving hopefully in the right direction.
So, Tim, if Harden makes this move, what's Philly's ceiling? When you talk about this, possibly P.J. Tucker, what's the ceiling in Philly?
If they get P.J. Tucker with DeAnthony Melton, with some other moves that Daryl Morey will probably be able to make to round things out around the edges, I think this team is good enough, if Joel Embiid is healthy, which he wasn't in the playoffs, to be right at the top of the East. Like, I think they have that potential. But again, it's a lot of talk about potential on a lot of fronts. Joel Embiid is never healthy. James Harden has obviously not always been in shape. We don't know if they're going to get P.J. Tucker. But if this comes together and they get P.J. Tucker, who is exactly the kind of guy they need, I think they have a chance to be that good because Tyrese Maxey is really good. He's going to get better. Harden last year averaged 20 and 10 with a hamstring that wasn't all the way right. And Joel Embiid might have been the MVP of the league. Like, they have a ton of talent. And these teams at the top of the East, we spent the top of the show talking about the Nets. The Nets have flaws. The Celtics have flaws. The Bucks have flaws. The Heat have flaws. They're going to lose maybe P.J. Tucker. There is an opening there for Philly. They have to, though, actually take advantage of it.
Can they win the East?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes, legit chance.
When they traded for Harden, they lost their depth. This summer is about rebuilding their depth. DeAnthony Melton was a piece. P.J. Tucker was a piece. And it wouldn't surprise me if they had another piece or two. I think this team is going to be very formidable.
Okay, so maybe there's some hope for Philadelphia. How about that?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.